In this video I am gonna give a long requested boat tour of the Daytripper, and if you stick to the end I am gonna give my review after 2 years of ownership of this little beautiful sailboat. So stick around. A few general boat spec. So boat is a Daytripper 8, so 8 meter long. It is 2 meter and 30 wide or 223, can't actually remember. It weighs 1,350 kilos dry weight. So this is equipped with the torpedo, so it probably brings it up with like another 50 kilos or 75 kilos. It has a 11 meter carbon fiber mast. Sail area is 28 square meters. Draft is 1.6 meter. We are at the bow of the boat, and you'll see there's no anchor locker. There's not really any cleats. It's quite empty up here because this is a quite simple boat. However, it has one quite unique feature, and that is the rubber nose cone, which is kind of intended if you want to do a under sail docking maneuver and you're not that comfortable or confident. Well, it won't be that terrible if you hit the dock, so that's quite clever. Moving a bit aft, we have the forestay sitting there. So on this boat, it doesn't have a foresail or head sail. You can get a gennaker, that's about it. I didn't get it yet because I think I have plenty to do to manage the big mainsail on this boat. Moving a bit further back, now we're at the business end of the boat. This is the carbon fiber mast. So it's 11 meter rotating wing mast system. That means everything rotates about this pivot point here. You can see it has a very nice aerofoil shape all the way to the top. It is full carbon fiber and quite unique. I haven't seen it before, and I did a lot of research when I first found the boat online, how this will work. And it seems like some catamarans they have it, but not that often cruising boats. Main benefit is that the mast is wing shaped, so it doesn't create a lot of turbulence in the leech of the front line of the sail. It will rotate according to how the sail is being pulled, like from the wind, and it actually adds another 2 square meters of sail area. Going even further back, maybe you've seen, or if you haven't seen, you can click up here. I made this custom carbon fiber rod kicker, or a boom kicker, depends on where you are in the world. Well, it's the boom one. But moving aft again, boom, also full carbon fiber. Of course, weight savings, and it looks quite good. And coming from a background from quite competitive cycling, I love everything that's carbon fiber, so that's nice. Looking upwards is the mainsail. So this is a square top 28 square meter mainsail from North Sails. Works quite good. It has what's that, 5 battens in it that is also like adjustable at the end, so you can adjust the tension, the curvature of the sail. I don't do that quite often because it's quite a lot to adjust. So it works quite good in the current setup I have here. Another nice detail thing on the boat is this carbon fiber dodger. It doesn't dodge that much, but it looks quite cool. If it hasn't been for the clear coat issue, that's also from the tiller that is peeling off. So yeah, that's another sanding and varnishing job to do this winter. A bit further back in boat, well, it has a quite unique layout. So you can see that it's designed having a social cockpit here, where you can easily sit 4 adults and maybe a little child. And then down here is the skipper or the captain's seating area, where you have of course the controls from the rudder and the engine, autopilot, and the chart plotter. It's quite nice and quite spacious, because this boat is only 2 meter and 30 wide-ish, 8 meter long boat, but still, I mean, we almost have more space in this one than on the old Beneteau. course, you don't have the downstairs, but when you're up here, you have a really nice seating area. So up here in the cockpit, there's fairly okay storage. I mean, there's a few storage area under the bench seating here, and again here these are a bit more watertight. Store the tiller pilot and stuff down there. Back here at the helm station, very simple rudder with a tiller setup. Also carbon fiber. It needs to be re-varnished here. I think the manufacturer had some issue with the varnish. Small deal. I'm gonna fix that. We also have the torpedo throttle here, and we have a little rescue or swim ladder down here. I never tried it. Hope I won't be needing to use the emergency ladder. Depth sound there. A little Garmin, not very fancy chart plotter, but it works quite good. Recently I upgraded with a little carbon fiber flagpole there, so you can see that we are from the proud Scandinavian country of Denmark. So here from the helm's position, you have a really good control of both the main sheet over there and the traveler. And since this is a how to say it nicely, it can be a bit sporty boat if the wind picks up, and since it's quite low weight and quite big sail area, it's quite nice to always have a hand on either the traveler or the main sheet, just to ease out in case that you feel like now everything's gonna break. Okay, so down here we have we don't have that much. Well, it's actually quite spacious if you're not that tall. I think that's at least like 3 meters out there depth. So I'm thinking maybe we're gonna make some mattresses here, or daughter can sleep here, or like play around. There is quite a lot of small details to fix. The previous owner left some tools down there, so it's a bit rusty. There's some parts missing here. I made this one a few years ago when we bought the boat, but it definitely needs a new paint job and first needs some sanding, some fiberglass repair, and a new paint job. But maybe that's gonna be documented right here on the YouTube channel. So end of the boat tour is that everything downstairs you can't see that's below water I will describe, and maybe I have some footage I can put in here. So it has a very thin keel, carbon fiber as well, and it has a 600 kilo lead bulb sitting on the end of that, giving it a ballast ratio of about 47 or 49%, which is quite high. And you can really feel like even though you have quite strong winds, it's very stable, and when you have any kind of waves, it doesn't roll around, so that's very nice. Just in comparison, a normal production boat like the Beneteau we had, or a Bavaria or Jeanneau or whatever, they're probably more like in the 25 or 30% ballast ratio. So that's quite impressive. What you can partly see is the propulsion system. So this boat is fitted with the Torpedo. It's called the Cruise Fixed Part 2.0, so it's a 2 kilowatt electric drive. It has a 2.5 kilowatt hour also torpedo battery, and that is plenty. Of course, when we talk electric, then people are asking like, oh, what's the range? And the range is actually quite good. So if you go full speed, so this is 2 kilowatt pulling out from a 2.5 kilowatt hour battery, you can go a bit more than an hour. Of course, there's going to be some losses, but let's say an hour, and that's at least at 6 knots. So that's 6 nautical miles for full speed for an hour. If you throttle down to, let's say, 40%, I have estimated ranges about 18 nautical miles. So more than plenty. You can see I just used the electric motor to get out of the marina, set the sail, and then you sail, and then you use the electric drive to go back again. So I've rarely been under like 70% on it if I even forgot to charge it. So that's nice. It works perfectly. There's no winterizing besides you need to change the anodes, small bits and pieces like that. So quite good setup. So brief story of the boat and how I found the boat. Well, I was So we used to have the big Beneteau, like the 34-foot Beneteau we had to sell. There's a video up here explaining why. And then you can't go boatless, so I started looking for something that would fit a quite small spot in marina, because they are easier to get. And I search around, I look at those, I think there's a Far East of Far 28R, which seems a bit like too racy, but anything like the 8 meter and about 2 meter and 30, 2 meter 50 width. And I came across this one. This was for sale in Sweden, and went up to just outside Stockholm. They had a look at it, and we gave an offer. The seller accepted, and I went up again to do the final check, and then we did a handover. We had it transported to Denmark by a Swedish guy who normally transports cars, but he had a trailer for it, and well, then we got it here. And full disclosure, you might be interested in how much is a boat like this. It is used. This one is from 2011. It didn't touch water before 2018. It was used as a demo boat at the Scandinavian. There's a big Swedish boat exhibition, and it's just sitting in the dealership. I paid 22,000 euro for the boat, including the trailer. The trailer I then sold afterwards, because we have quite strict rules here in Denmark about trailers. And this one, since the trailer came to Sweden, we couldn't use it here. So I think, let's say, 21,000 euro for a quite nice boat. A lot of, quite a lot of expensive materials and manufacturing going into it. It's quite decent, and it's very manageable. If you don't have all the time in the world to go sailing, this is easy going up. So the story of the Daytripper brand is that this guy, very nice Swedish guy, who founded a company back in 2010, I think, and his kind of like a mission were that he saw, like, when especially the younger generation would start sailing, they would buy a powerboat with a big outboard and just cruise around in the Swedish archipelago, making lots of noise and not really sailing. So he wanted to create a boat that is very easy to sail, it's easy to set up, but also if you're more experienced, you can easily get some performance out of it. So he created the Daytripper brand, and I think they have made about 47, I believe he told me. There are one in Denmark, so this is this one here, and there's 2 in Sweden, and the rest are actually in China. So the first mold were made at the Vasa yachts, or the Vasa boat yard in Sweden. And I think they transferred that mold to China, and then because of just labor cost, they produced the rest of the boats in China. Then you say Chinese quality. Well, I think the mold and the design is like in Sweden. I can see there are some, especially on the carbon fiber, the finish work could have been nicer, but that's how it is. So the Daytripper brand, they only have this boat in their lineup, and they don't produce them anymore. So they made those, as I said, 47, I believe, and they had to stop, and they were very honest about it. They had to stop production because it was simply too expensive to produce it, even though they did in China. You can see the amount of just carbon fiber work here, the amount of like very unique or like interesting details compared to how much they can actually sell the boat for. I think the original listing of this boat were 500,000 Swedish kronor, so I'm gonna do a little calculation down there, how much that is in euro at that time, but it was quite expensive, and that's a bare bone boat, so that's just including the boat, a basic sail, and that's it. It makes sense that they simply is too expensive to produce. So they stopped production a few years ago with what they have, and yeah, but still very interesting. It's a very nice, I think, design philosophy of the boat, to make something that's simple, sails good, not that many like things that can break. So it. And then to the review part of the video. How has it been owning this boat for about 2 years? I think it's 2 years. Yeah, it's 2 years ago since I bought it. So we had it for 2 full seasons in marina. Now we are late September, so season is coming to a end, unfortunately. I think the main difference between well, this is not a one-off, but this is a fairly low, like a limited series production versus those production boats like the Beneteau, the Hansi, Chanot, whatever, is that they didn't think about all the details. Like, for example, the hatch for the cabin there is a flimsy piece of acrylic with a poorly fitted carbon fiber lid that didn't have any locks on it, so I had to make some hinges myself. And now, of course, when we're doing review, we should also talk about the negative stuff. The tiller had like a nasty wobble. I also had to fix by making a new bracket. So there's a lot of like these small things that were not perfect, but I think overall you can see the production of the boat, the keel set up, in the carbon fiber, the mast, how everything works with the main sheet and the winches. That's just very nicely made, and it works. But it's more like the details that the other manufacturers, they had years and years to improve on, like how the users would use the hatch and how they would go down and up. They didn't really think about that. They just want to make a good functioning, like a bit of performance boat. But you can see, for example, where the designers made a bit of like funny is that they want to cover, of course, the lines here, which say, you know, it looks nice, but imagine you're out in rough seas, right? This one is up, the wind is blowing, you want to do something here, and then suddenly wind takes this one and tries to chop off your arm. Not like ideal. So a quick fix, I think I'm gonna just move the hinges maybe to the side. Maybe it's gonna flip out, so you can like at least like park it there. So there's like these small things, but I think it's definitely manageable. And I also bought this boat because it came in like it's a quite good price, as more like a project boat, because I like to do boat projects. And instead of having a very expensive boat where you feel like, oh, I don't want to drill a hole there or do stupid things like putting in a bow thruster or something like that. Well, this is, you know, it's not a big deal if you mess up something. So that's doable. So I think after having this boat for 2 years, I really like it. It's a joy to sail. You can say it's not a very big boat, since now we have this little 2-year-old dictator sometimes. It fits our life and what we're going to do with sailing quite nicely now. I really like the performance aspect, and I really like that you are more back to basic sailing compared to the Beneteau. Like, we didn't have that many trim options. You just put up the main and the genoa, and then you sailed, and that's it. Here you have to think and you need to learn, and you can feel the boat much more. I really feel like if I'm overpowered or underpowered, or when it's heeling, or when you should reef. So it's teaching quite a lot about sailing in general. So I think that's a good experience for in a few years time, when we're probably going to have a bigger boat, more like a cruising boat. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you liked this little review and boat tour. And yeah, you feel free to subscribe and like if you like this. Don't like it if you don't like it, just to be nice, but it's for free to do it. And yeah, see you next time for more upcoming projects, fixes on this little boat. See you.